Today's video, I've just written them down. Things I wish I'd been doing.
Just to interrupt the video for a second, I posed this as 5 things that I wish I'd done for the last 10 years, but really we need to start thinking positively here. I don't want you to think that you can't do these things now. There's always time, do it now. This is the point of the video, is that these are the 5 things that you can do now.
Doing some drawing for my new comic book pages. We'll just go through these. Writing a blog. Had to get on with it and do it, and I think it helps me collect some of my thoughts in a more succinct way and plot things out and think about things a bit more carefully. It was something that I've always wanted to do for quite some time. I just wasn't sure what the process was. Personally taken inspiration from other comic book creators, in particular a writer, Brian K. Vaughan, another creator, Jake Parker as well. He does a pretty regular email list blog that he puts out. Just looked at how they were doing their emails, and I think Jake uses a sort of a 5 things that of interest to him, and he shares those with people, whether it's visual ideas, photographs, series, etc. Brian's more focused on releasing whatever the next couple of pages are of his new comic, and I like that idea in particular as well, so I've implemented that in my newsletter which I'm sending out. I've only got about 82 people on my email list at the moment. Really kicking ass on that one. It's something that I want to build up, and so I've just released who are subscribed to that email list to check out the next couple of pages of Super Solace. You can check out that blog at my website, doartwithdan.com. So the second thing that I wish I'd been doing every week for the last 10 years is uploading a 2 to 5 minute video. I have got this little YouTube channel right here, and there was a time, certain periods where I was uploading a video every week. But often I would skip whole months, as you may know. So no matter what the video length is, I think it's preferential to be able to just upload something. And so for me, that would be an art-related video, and more so I want it to be like a video relating to my own original comic books. So Super Solace. Do whatever length kind of video you can to get it out every week. There are whole podcast episodes on YouTube that go for an hour or 2. Being able to upload something every week as an independent solo creator like yourself, like myself, I'm just encouraging you, and I'm encouraging myself to do, even if it's only 1 minute 30 seconds, or if it's 2 minutes, or at the most 5 minutes, and think of something interesting to share with your audience. Don't just talk about me. Talk about something that's current and interesting and relevant to whoever's watching. The third thing that I want to share with you guys that I wish I'd been doing for the last 10 years every week is to go live somewhere, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram or TikTok. I think for me it'll probably be YouTube. From what I've seen, it is a really great way to connect with your audience. For me it'll be to share my new pages of comic book artwork. For you it could be music, it could be anything. For even 15 minutes of live interaction with your audience, or you know, some people do prefer to go on live for an hour or 2. I guess ideally you want to be doing it at a time and in a place where you're not being disturbed. But then when I think about it, you know, this new space that I'm working in, co-working in that, I kind of think it'd be cool if people just dropped in randomly. This morning, or today, it's quite quiet here, but I don't know, it might spice things up and make your live videos just that much more interesting if people did just drop in. But yeah, I guess the idea is you want to have each live video to have a specific title and thumbnail and have something that it's focused on. Just having the space and the time in your day or in your whole week. As I say, this is something you want to do at least once a week. There's opportunities to have your audience give donations, and they can ask questions in the chat, and it's something that I want to start doing very soon as well. That's the other big benefit of doing it, is to have that really immediate connection with your audience that you can't get any other way with a video or a blog post. The fourth thing that I wish I'd been doing every week for the last 10 years is to collaborate with somebody. For me, it'd be an artist, a fellow artist, or maybe a writer, or anything really, even a little small freelance graphic design job or something. Preferably, I think something local is good. So sometimes I will edit together a little video for this videographer down the road who does weddings and whatnot. I've had other little various odd jobs that I've done. A lot of us writers and artists, we get very insular, and like we think we can just focus on our own work and make that work great and just put it out there and people will see the individual genius. I'm not so sure that sticking to that every week on week is the great way to go. That's why being here at this collective, at this co-working space, art gallery, coffee shop is so freaking cool, because I'm interacting with other creatives and other artists, even if it's just making some new piece of crappy pink furniture. No, they're actually really good seats for that front lawn bit. But the point is even to do some little task, you're probably underestimating all the kinds of things you can learn from other people. You know, maybe you've got something that you can teach or share with other people in that collaboration as well. I understand that you might not be able to do all 5 in the week. If you feel like you can only handle one thing, just make sure you do that one thing consistently. So start a blog at least and release it every single week. Also, there are a lot of interesting things that you're going to have to think about embracing in the next 10 years. I'll share some of those thoughts at the end of the video. The 5th and final thing that I wish I'd been doing every week for the last 10 years is to release a product of some kind on my little online store. Now, for me, it'd be perhaps a simple art print, and that's what I'm trying to do now, is to come up with a drawing, whether it's a black and white inked piece or I might color it digitally, but either way it's just a piece that maybe takes like an hour, 2 hours. I can sketch pretty quickly. I guess coming up with a really damn good idea for an art piece that can be done in that time is the trick to make it exciting for people to grab that. And for me, I guess basing it on my created work with Super Solace is the way to go with that. But for you, I don't know, it could be music, or it could be a piece of writing, or one of these paint brushes that people use digitally. Think of a way that you can release a series of products, and releasing one of those products every week. I'm going to try and release limited edition art prints. So there's only going to be 10 of them, and they're only going to be available for 1 week every week on the Do Art with Dan shop. I don't know if it's going to work. It might not. It hasn't worked so far. That's the 5th idea that I had. The point with these 5 different things, is that they are short, easy things to do that don't take up too much of your time. Because ideally, you want to be doing all 5 of them every week. And that's a little bit crazy, but I've seen that is what a lot of creators, they do have a podcast and a YouTube channel, and they have all these things, and I think it has a lot to do with just getting whatever the creative work that you're doing is out to different kinds of people on these different kinds of platforms. Some people like to listen to things in the car, hence a lot of people go to podcasts. Other people are watching YouTube when they get home from work, and so having a YouTube video is a great idea too. For me, the main thing, the cool thing that I love doing is to make this comic book. And if I can take 5 little bits off of that and break them off into a blog, into a live video, break it off into a collaboration, and then break it off into a YouTube video, etc., and a product, of course, that's the way to get these things out there into the world. And then I think looking at the specific social media platforms that you share on, and see where it is that new audiences are being attracted. So from what I understand with Instagram, Reels are what bring in new followers. On YouTube, I suspect that Shorts are also the way to bring in new audiences. And with a blog, so getting more email list subscribers, I think having some kind of small product to offer for free, send their emails in order to get that product, and then maybe just let them know, the kind of content that you have in your email. With that one, my thinking would be you actually have to boost it a little bit maybe, or you have to be, again, posting it in Reels and in Shorts and in those places where new audiences will see it. Ultimately, with every one of these 5 things, you have to be thinking about what is valuable and helpful to the person who's going to receive it. For you, the individual channel, what you receive from that It may be small. It may just be, oh, you got a new subscriber to your email list. One set of pins from your website is just sold for $10. So individually, they might not seem like big wins, but collectively, those 5 things that you do each week, they will coalesce together and create that path for you that goes towards making your creative dreams come true, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to be testing this out and trying to do these 5 things weekly. So blogs, and going live have been big in the social media space for a long while now. Looking into the future, in the next 10 years, it looks like things like VR and AR, them coming together and creating devices where you're pretty much surrounded by the social and virtual worlds as you're going through the real world. That is the space where I think a lot of people will just have to keep their eyes and ears open for how they can use that as a social media marketing tool. Ultimately, do not underestimate finding yourself in a co-working space, embracing a more local creative community. I think the YouTuber who just sits at home, not interacting with other creatives, they're doing a disservice to their own creative journeys. So that is the thing that you really should be focusing on. Enough of this motivational Dan mode. I'm going back to draw my comic book. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're inspired, go out and do art with heart.